nice to see that you're inching your way up into the room. You know what I'm saying? So it's nice. Is this your first time actually broadcasting from there? First time I can remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dave's realm room.
The realm room. Well, you were just showing us yours, man. That shit was fucking dope. The lounge, JD's lounge. Do you have a name for it? Are you coming up with a name for that thing?
I don't know.
Something clever.
I'll something.
Something more clever than I could ever think of.
Yeah. I mean, we call the house the manor, so it's not the house.
The manor. Oh, yes.
I call it the manor.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to come up with something. maybe just as simple as the lounge. Meet in the second floor lounge with no clothes.
Meet me on the west wing in the second floor lounge, please. Welcome to Casa JD.
You can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Why not? That's dope though. And you already got the mood lighting set, so you're good. Good.
Just everything over in the opposite corner here. I need to get situated.
JD, do you have sex in the toy room? With all those eyes watching you?
No, I don't. We might have.
Yeah, you definitely did.
Don't be shy. Don't be shy. You could tell.
Who stares at you the most? Is it Megatron or is it like Darth Vader? Why you getting it in?
Biker Scouts. Curvy ass Biker Scouts.
It's all the non-MP Transformers.
They don't get much love. It's like most nerds. You know, they see a girl and it's, oh my god, the girl! She's in the same room.
And she likes toys. That's like a double whammy.
That is nice. That's a probably like a rare thing in our circles. At least I haven't met that one. All right.
You're probably better off sometimes though.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's great, but then you get the one that knows everything and just wants to shit on everything. Like, you know?
Yeah. Look who just slipped in. Dom, how you doing, man? What's going on?
How you doing, guys?
What's happening?
Not much.
Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah. You know that I'm the best looking one out of you all.
All right.
If you're a Yeti.
Yeah. Yeti? Who are you talking about?
If you're a fucking Sam Squamch.
Yeah. It's running with Sasquatch, not running away from Sasquatch. What is that? Is that commercial?
I mean, people run away from you
a lot.
Yeah. You're running from Sasquatch.
Yeah. Same thing.
Who's cutting coke on the table? I hear it.
Sorry, it was a battery.
I hear that.
I thought that was part of Dom's diet plan. I just sniff coke tonight. I ain't gaining no weight.
It's my butt plug.
I don't need to eat.
Oh man. All right. What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode 41 of Breaking the Mold. Welcome back here on Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel. Check us out on audio on iTunes and Google Play. I'm Harrican BX. Let's say what's up to the crew. First up, G Money. What's going on, man?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
How you doing?
Everything's good.
Tired, man. You all right?
A little bit. It's a
long day, long week,
long day. No, we'll just say a long day. Doing a bunch of job interviews today, trying to recruit some people to the new team, and that's just exhausting. Trying to sort through all that stuff. So
yeah, recruiting new people implies that you've gotten rid of some dead weight. Is that true?
There's some that's gone. there's a few more that need to be purged, right? Like the stuff out of your collection that you don't really like anymore, right?
Sorry about your luck, motherfuckers.
Oh man.
No, dude, it was funny though. I'll just say this. So there's, we've got a lot of great shows, in the ROC, channel. So I was listening to MPSP on Friday, right? And I tried to keep an open mind. So they were talking about the new Doctor Who series, and that's not a series I've ever watched before.
Mhm.
And I don't know, so they were making a big deal about how if you've never watched the season, you could watch this episode, and it was geared towards new people. And they talked about this like evil monster creature that sounded really intriguing. And I don't know, I felt like dust mites because I got through about 30 minutes of it, and I'm like, yeah, this just isn't for me. I tried to keep an open mind. My wife's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to give this a chance, but I don't think this is going to work for me. And I saw like the evil creature monster they were talking about. And I'm like, all right, that's not nearly as gruesome as they made it sound. It looks like someone wearing a Halloween mask. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Oh wow.
Like I tried.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Like that's interesting to hear too, because I have a cousin that I usually go to Wizard World Philly every year with. He's a big Doctor Who fan, but I've never seen the show myself either. But I'm kind of under the impression that it's kind of like it reinvents itself like all the time. Like I hear there's like a new actor that plays, I guess, that main character. So I'm not sure if the show refreshes itself or if it continues, from previous seasons or whatnot. But I was like, man, since my cousin likes it so much and I usually trust his judgment, I'm like, I'm gonna have to try to give this a shot. But it doesn't look like anything that I'd be interested in, which is why, I haven't watched it yet so far. So yeah, I think it's interesting to hear your opinion.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's cool. And you hear someone make a recommendation, a movie or an anime or something outside of the more mainstream stuff, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But it was interesting hearing those guys talk about it because they were really so psyched. I'm like, oh, okay, this is good timing. I'm gonna check it out. And if I liked it, I figure I'm at the first episode of a new series with new actors, I guess. But yeah, that's fine. No big deal. 30 minutes gone. Just move on to something else.
Is that the format? Is it like a half an hour show or is it an hour?
No, it was. I've watched it on like on demand or whatever. So I think it's an hour show. But I kind of was like, let me just see the. It's like fast forwarding to some points. I'm like, I just want to see this like special effects for this villain they were talking about with all the teeth. It's just interesting because they made it sound like there was this alien creature and he would take one tooth from each of his victims. And he had like a mask on. They made it sound so gruesome in their discussion. And I was like, oh, my curiosity was piqued to such a point. I'm like, I felt compelled to try and see it. Mm-hmm. And then once I saw him take the mask off, I'm like, okay, it looks like a Halloween mask with a bunch of teeth stuck to it. I'm like, like I'm good. So that's about it. Just like everybody else, getting excited for TFCon next week. So. Just working on that. Yep.
10 days away before we hook up in Chicago. Almost there. It'll be here before we know it, and then it'll be over.
Exactly. It'll be
sad.
Yep.
That's very sad.
From incredible highs.
And then you got Toy-Con to pick you back up.
Yep.
That's true. Yeah, Toy-Con.
And then the real lull, and we don't see each other for a minute. But
right. Yeah. That's basically that takes you to like March or April, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's change the topic. That's getting
depressing. Unless we make something else happen, okay? Because there's that option.
Yeah, like the way we hook up in Queens every once in a while and have dinner. That's nice. That's always a good thing.
Hey, Gary. Nightwing in the chat had a question for you. He says, "Does G Money's wife call him G Money?"
G Honey.
That's what I assumed. That's what I assumed.
What'd you say?
G Honey.
Gee, honey.
No, actually, she does not, and I don't know if I would be able to get her to do that. Maybe I'll try that this week. But
does she know we call you that?
It's probably unlikely. Yeah, she's seen my Instagram that I never use for anything, so she's. I told her, I said, listen, that's the thing about like a moniker or a nickname. You don't get to pick it yourself. You can't decide. That's what Dust started many months ago, I guess. Actually. How longer than that? Just sort of stuck.
It fits.
Yep.
All right. Dustapalooza. Dust is in the chat. He says Dustapalooza February 2019.
We'll be there.
Only if there's pizza.
Lots of pizza. Oh, there will be pizza. All right. Moving right along. Next up, Energon Addict. What's going on tonight, Pop?
Yo, what's up? Chilling, man. It's Tuesday, the week before TFCon. and my panties are in a bunch. I'm like, I'm fucking amped, bro. Like, you don't know, like, even just seeing everybody else talk about it, like, gets me hype. Like, you know, just hearing everybody else be hype. I'm like at my desk, and I'm like, yo, it's gonna be next week that I'm gonna be packing my bag, getting ready for Thursday to get there, and I'm just hyped. I'm hyped to see a bunch of people I've never met. I'm hyped to see you guys. I'm hyped to see people I've met and just want to fucking hang out with. You know, it's just gonna be great.
Yep.
Can't wait.
The anticipation is definitely high, man. And you know what? I'm getting a fucking little worried because I put in for my days and I still haven't gotten like the approval back from my boss. And I just hope she knows that I am not gonna be at work those 2 days next week. So I'm gonna have to send her like a reminder. I'm gonna send her an email like with it and scan, you know, my thing and be like, hey, I put it in for these days. Are they approved? They always let me know down at the, you know, to the very last minute, man. It fucking sucks.
My boss isn't he's not that good with that either. So basically I have to remind him like week of, hey, by the way, I'm not gonna be here Thursday and Friday. And he's like, okay, no worries. But it works in my advantage because there's sometimes I don't have a day off during that week, and I'll be like, oh, remember I'm off on Friday. He'll be like, oh yeah, okay, no problem, no worries. You know, so it's fine.
Nice,
I get away with murder.
Yeah, I don't really get messed with much either. Like, and usually it's just I have to send a reminder and stuff like that. We just recently got like administrative assistant again. We were down for a couple of months with that, so that's what it is. You know, the boss can only manage so much herself. So that's dope though. So yeah, man, anticipation high. Can't wait for that. We got one more BTM before TFCon, so I'm sure next week we'll be kind of in our feelings for that event. That's just going to be a couple of days away at that point. So how was the weekend and everything? Everything good? Did you do anything special or just kept it low key?
I was actually low key. I was home most of the time. I was in here doing stuff in this room. Food shopping, you know, the basics, daddy shit, you know, taking turns watching the kid, doing, you know, that's about it.
Yep. I like seeing you in your new surroundings, though. You know what I'm saying? Is that going to be a permanent fixture on Tuesday nights? Going to be coming?
Yeah, I mean,
hang out from the toy room?
It's not done. I'm not ready for the big reveal, but soon. But it's better than being downstairs. That could be me. I don't have to worry about my wife staring at me because she wants to watch TV or the dog fucking scratching at my ankles. So more comfortable being here.
All right, nice. All right, next up, Big Dom.
What's going on, guys? Good. My week was good. I went to RetroCon with my wife. My wife joined me, and we met up with Brian and Gort. We were hanging out with them, walking the aisles, seeing what they had. So it was a good show. Everything was really good. And so basically, I guess Brian and Gort paid for the concert. There was a concert that they were doing, this group out of Canada that dresses up as Transformers, and they're like a rock group. And I've heard them before. Like, I heard about them, and they were at last RetroCon, but I never went to the concert. I just basically went to the show. Mm-hmm. And when I met up with, I think it was me. I think Brian texted me or Gort texted me asking me if I was going to go to the concert and whether I wanted a ride, if we wanted to drive together, if I was going to go to the concert. And I'm like, I didn't buy tickets. I guess they shut down pre-registration, which that's where you bought tickets online, and they weren't available. So I guess the assumption was that they sold out on the concert tickets, but that wasn't the case. When you got to the show, they actually had like right by where you bought your tickets for the show, they had a stand there that you could buy tickets for the concert. So Brian was trying to persuade me to convince my wife to go to the concert. So it took some persuasion.
He was successful. He was successful in the end. Nice.
I was trying to convince her. So they play rock. They're rock music, you know, and. You know,
did she know what the whole deal was about? Like,
I told her like the lead singer and the lead the female vocalist and the lead male vocalist was at the convention in costume, full costume. Okay. So when we went to the back alley where they usually have the guests and the signatures going on and cosplay going on, they were there, and that's when I told my wife, I was like, "Oh, that's the two lead singers, you know, the female and the male," and she's like, "Wow, interesting." So, and she was kind of more interested in how they hold the guitars and where the straps go, you know, because they play instruments, all of them. So with the costumes on and everything like that. Costume. So yeah,
nice. Yeah.
So it was so basically like I think like what Brian said in yesterday's show, you really can't stay there for the whole day in that convention. So I think they headed off to go to Brick Store, and we went to just to give her some, you know, we went to the King of Prussia Mall. So we went some window shopping, and it was fun. You know, it's mall. It was a mall, so a lot of high. It was a high end mall, so it's all those high end stores, overpriced stuff, and you know, we really didn't do any buying there because it's just ridiculously expensive.
First time there, first time at that particular.
Yeah, first time. Yeah, but like, you know, I live in New Jersey, so the land of malls, so nothing really impressed me in regards to what the mall was. Because I have Jersey Gardens Mall right by me. I have Freehold Mall, Menlo Park Mall. Like, I got big malls by me, so.
Dom, the mall didn't impress you because they had no toys?
I couldn't find a GameStop, so it's really kind of like, you know.
So nothing for you to do.
Who the fuck wants to go to Chico's? I don't want to go to Chico's.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, why call yourself a mall when you don't even have a fucking GameStop, dude? That's fucked up.
Did they have a Gap?
I don't even think they had a Gap there. They had a lot of high-end stuff. Yeah, they have high-end stuff. Like
every mall has a Gap.
They had Kenneth Cole. Like, they had, like, stores that I mean, you know, Burberry. They had Coach. They had, like, all those high-end stores.
So, I got you. I know what type of mall you're in now.
Yeah. So it was.
Were you looking at your wife like?
No, she's like, you know, she's a, you know, she not saying she's interested in that stuff. She just doesn't, you know, she prefers to bargain shop rather than, you know, spends her money wisely. Than
I do not think she's married to you, bro. Like,
yeah, you were giving her a fucking dirty look. Like, don't you dare buy that shit.
No. Like,
think about it. Make sure you refresh your receipts.
my mom, not necessarily, but you know, she's a good bargain shopper. She you can buy that. You can find all that shit in Marshalls or fucking TJ Maxx for discount prices.
Dom, Retro now said there are 2 GameStops in that mall. You're just too dumb to see them.
Oh,
no, I added the too dumb to see him. Like,
that's what I'm saying. He's going to fucking TF Con. Like, the only person that can allow to call me dumb is you. But
there you go.
Oh, JD's testing that. He's testing that out. Right?
See how far we can take this, guys.
Dude, the mall, the layout of the mall is so confusing. Like, you like, I don't know whether it's like a figure 8 or I couldn't figure out what the fucking layout of the whole mall was. So I couldn't really, like, you go down one corridor, you're ended back to the way where you started, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, where am I going? So
there's no Jersey Mall. These PA malls are stupid.
Yeah, they're fucking really stupid. They gotta have some type of fucking and we went to a directory, but I wasn't paying attention.
You just look at the dots as you are here, and then you find out where you want to go, and then you just.
I fucking understand that, Brian. I understand the fucking directory and how to fucking use it. Okay. I played Zelda. Man. God damn it! I know how to fucking travel on a map.
Good training right there. Good training.
So it was fun. It was fun. And then we all headed back. We met back together around, I think, 7:30. I think the concert started. 7:15. The concert started like around 8. So we ended up meeting out. I saw them in the parking lot. I think Brian said accidentally saw somebody in a white Ford Explorer and thought it was me, and it wasn't. So he was waving to strangers.
Yeah, they're like, look at this fucking nerd.
So it was nice place though. Like the like there is an adult like entertainment. Like it has like bowling, arcades, fucking. It's just a really nice place. Like when we went into the bar area, so they had a little concert hall, like a concert stage. where you can where the band was playing. But it was really nice. Like, it was definitely something where you can hang out, enjoy a good time with friends, and just fucking chill. So
that's sweet. What did you think of the music, like the concert, the performance overall?
They're great musicians. Like, the woman, the girl, RC, dude, she knows how to fucking sing, dude.
The one Brent got a picture with. Oh shit.
She was belting it out, like certain songs, like she just, like, if there was a standout performance, it was definitely her. Hot Rod was cool. He got, he was doing the wisecracks, and he was kind of cracking little jokes left and right, and getting the fans into it. And
did he get anybody killed?
No. He was making, like, it was cool because some of the songs were like, I want to say, like, I would say intermediate songs, or like bridge songs to the next song. They would play like what is it, like cartoon themes and stuff like that. So it was really cool. Like, they really did the 80s kind of, that's what they were preaching, like nostalgia, bring it back to the 80s. And they were playing a lot of the old 80s, like some cartoon. They did He-Man, I think. They played He-Man and
X-Men.
Yeah, they just
animated
they were
Spider-Man.
killing. And what was it, the Warriors, or what was
Jason the Real Warriors?
Yeah, Chasing the Real Warriors.
Dude, that's where she really shined, man.
Yeah, she killed it on that one. But she, like, it was just, she was the one that was hitting the high notes. Like, if it was like, if it was Bon Jovi, she was the Bon Jovi. She was hitting those high notes. So, and like, other than that, like, the costumes were great. Unicron was awesome. He was like, just his present, and like, him holding the bass guitar was pretty fucking cool.
Nice.
Rumble with the drummer, he was so funny. Like, he's small. I think it was a female drummer. I think it's a girl who's Rumble, but he had like a little heart on his chest, and it was funny. Like, he was really, really cute.
Nice.
But it was fun. We stayed. I don't know how many songs that they played after I left, Brian.
After the touch, because Dom's like, I said, I heard the touch.
Yeah, I've heard the touch. I got out of there.
That was it.
Yeah.
I already. Say again. Sorry, Brian.
No, I was just saying, Hot Rod prefaced the song. He's like, "This is a song by Stan Bush. It's about sensual touching."
Consensual touching. You want to make that very clear.
But, no, Dom, you missed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more songs.
Six more songs. Yeah. So they went for probably another hour, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I stayed there for like an hour. So we went from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. But
all right.
No, I had about an hour and a half drive home, so I didn't want to get home too late.
Oh, I hear that. So I'm glad you enjoyed what you heard. How did T like it?
She
did she or did she not?
That was the reason Dom left.
I heard Brian, like Brian was saying, like, in last night's show, like, some people were really getting into it. Granted, like, I was not like getting so into it, but like, certain songs, especially the songs from the movie, definitely was like, hitting a chord with me. The thing is that, like, I think Brian was getting into one of them, and like I grabbed him in the back of the shoulder, and it was like, yeah, like, and all of a sudden, like, my boy turns around and looks at us like we're fucking losers. To the point where, like, dude, what are these guys doing? Like, and but it was funny, like Retro's wife was there too, and she was also giving us, like, what the fuck is this?
I was like, come on, guys, pretend you're in your car right now.
Yeah. So, from someone that, I guess is not in the hobby or understands Transformers, or not even, don't care too much, she can be kind of like, a culture shock, I guess.
Yeah.
Dude,
I could understand.
But it was cool, like, but they didn't, like, they can even see, like, they didn't understand, like, they didn't like the X-Men theme that came on, and like, He-Man, they had no clue. Like, my wife was like, well, I don't know what the fuck this is. Like,
mine wouldn't have had a clue either.
I think they did Jen, Juliet Rage's song.
Yep.
And I'm like, you didn't fucking watch Jen? I'm like, they had no clue.
Dude, when they
no
did
nerd
Dare,
cred, no nerd cred at all.
when they did Dare, like everyone, because he's like every time you say the word Dare, people are like Dare,
Yeah.
yeah. And, like you see everyone in the crowd, dude. When Ken C posts this footage, it's gonna be nuts.
Yeah, it was like what song did she kill it though, Brian? It was the Thor song, like
Oh, the Immigrant song.
Immigrant. Yeah, she killed it on that one.
But Instruments of Destruction, she really
yeah,
fell to her knees and like
she was killing it. Like if there was one standout performance, it was her. It was
So
her.
she does this all in the RC costume.
Yeah.
Do you think that maybe you guys were just wrapped up in the way she looked a little bit, and she was just like mediocre? Like,
she didn't
it
have
was like, oh shit, it's fucking RC. Like, she's really singing, and like, she sounds fucking awesome. Like,
she didn't have the fans' toys chest, so. Like, you know, she had the true G1 chest, so it wasn't like any alterations on the chest or anything.
All right, so it's really more about the vocal than anything else.
Yeah. They they really do good on the costumes. Like, they're amazing on how the costumes are. Obviously, they're not as bulky as, you know, traditional cosplay is, but like, you know, because they have to move around on stage and have the guitars wrapped around them and stuff like that. So. But at the end of the day, like she just killed it. She killed it all. Like,
so the guitars are parts forming.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
That's interesting. I assume that's probably like a thing that they do regularly at RetroCon. So maybe if I go to the next one, I'll get a chance to see.
It was their second time that they did it. Like
okay.
They were invited. The first time they did it was last year.
Okay.
And I guess it was a successful showing or outing, and so when they got invited again to do it this year, they accepted. So hopefully, nice. And it was a good crowd. Like everyone was pumped up, you know, everyone, you know, cheered and clapped and applauded at every, you know, song, and people were getting into it. So it's, you know, I don't see, if they got invited again next year, I'm sure they'll come.
Okay, nice. So. Nice, man, nice. All right, JD, I think you went right to the show. I think on Sunday. How was your weekend? How was your?
Yeah,
how are you doing? And how was that experience?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty interesting. I think Brian brought this up while we were there. This show needs to be a little, like, we need to have more of a presence there. It was a really big show. I mean, Brian had said about that. You know, we went to dinner, had an interesting time.
Yeah, man. We actually, you know, we joke about being in a toy gang, but this time it almost ended up in us in handcuffs, I think.
Uh-oh. What? Is there a story behind that? you didn't say nothing in the chat. What the fuck is going on? Who got arrested?
So shout out to Bob Evans and profiling.
Bob Evans. Oh shit! I remember. I was like, "What the fuck is a Bob Evans?"
We went for the cinnamon extreme pancakes. So Brian and Clutch were in the parking lot waiting and hanging out in the parking lot, and then we pulled up. We hung out in the parking lot, and everybody's got the trunk doors open and
doing the
bags of action figures going back and forth and
rock swap.
yeah, right. And we went in, and the hostess, just to let you know, like, everybody's looking at us when we get in there, like all the staff and
all the old people that are there for their early night dinner.
So, yeah, we're the hostess warns us, you know, just to let you know, the manager's like, he's checking you guys out. You guys are out there hanging out in the parking lot, looking all suspicious. And like, all right, did somebody call the cops, or like, what are we doing? You know?
Yeah, we're drug dealing in the fucking parking lot.
Are we gonna make
all your car trunks open?
Do we get to kick this up and make it even more interesting? Come on now. But,
wow.
And I'm like, so did you call the cops? She's like, no, I would tell you if we did. And I'm like, well, I don't understand. Like, can we?
Why would they call the cops? Was Dave with you?
Oh.
No, it
Oh, Puerto
I
Rican.
say it's me.
was JD and his tattoos.
Yeah, I say it's me.
Tattoos,
It's like, they're like, who's this scruffy looking
So
guy?
yeah, he's suspicious.
Tattoos, the beard, looking all disheveled.
Who the fuck's this scruffy looking tattooed dirtball?
Suspicious looking character.
We don't serve you type here, boy.
But then from there, like, you know, we got seated. Still, everybody's fucking, you know, eyeballing us. It took, you know, half an hour, 40 minutes till we even got our food.
Yeah, man, they served us our drinks, and then we're sitting there, and we're like, you know, we all got breakfast items, so we know it doesn't take long. And I'm like, are they stalling, like, for the cops to really show up here?
Brian got, you could see Brian's anxiety just kind of like looking around, like, what the fuck? Why are we still sitting here with no food?
I have a question though. Who was there?
It was me, Chan, Brian, and Clutch.
And they thought you guys looked suspicious.
Yeah.
Where the fuck were you in? Like Amish town?
No. It
Oh,
was
man.
Oaks, PA, dude.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
I don't know. That's
No,
crazy to me.
I'm telling
Thank
you,
God me and Jose weren't there. The cops would have been there
dude, they were-
right away.
SWAT team fucking, especially with my fucking beard out of control.
Put the bag down.
Dude.
It's just toys. It's just toys.
Turn around and step backwards.
I would have loved for them to search the trunks and just fucking find action figures. How great! would that have been?
And so, JD, I'm just going to continue here.
Yeah, go for it.
So we're sitting there, and then all of a sudden, Chan's like, all right, I got to go to the bathroom. And so she goes, let's go to the bathroom. Oh, by the way, Beth, the hostess, she's a sweet lady, but the rest of the wait staff was treating her like shit.
Yeah,
Like,
they were coming down.
you're there, I said. No, not there. Go there.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
What, were they breaking her in? And she knew or something was going on?
I don't know. But
I would imagine she seemed new.
and our waitress had a severe attitude problem.
Yeah.
And
Well, she thought she was serving a bunch of fucking criminals.
yeah,
That's
man.
why.
I mean, I was like, yeah. Can I get grits for my side? She's like, no. Grits are done at 2 p.m. I'm like, all right, well, calm down.
Do you have some magical grits?
Bricks is like, can I get chicken pot pie? She's like, no, we're out of chicken pot pie.
We're all out of chicken pot pie.
I'm sure you want some pot.
I mean, I really should have taken it to the next level. And when she asked to take my order, yeah, you can give me all the money out of the register, or everybody in here is going to die.
So the funny thing is while Chane's at the bathroom, she goes and talks to the because we've been sitting there a while, and she ends up talking to the manager. The waitress is sitting right there. She's like, I'm paying this bill right now. And she gave her like a really good tip. And this is before we even got our food. And then all of a sudden, like Chan comes back and, well, it's not all of a sudden, actually, we still had to wait a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I paid the bill. And I'm like, oh, wait, what? And I'm saying, I know you. And like, I consider you a friend, but, I wouldn't put this past you to pull a prank where like we get our food and think we paid.
She's tapping me on the back. Quick, run.
He's like, you don't believe me? And I was like, yeah. Then I like she had to show me the receipt to prove it. And she actually showed me the sheet. I was like, all right, I feel a little bit better.
As JD runs out the door, does a Dukes of Hazzard across the hood.
Hey, man, I'm in Delaware. We're in PA. I'm like, dude, I'm the odd man out here. They're gonna throw the book at me, Oh, fucking! I got third-party toys in my trunk. They're gonna fucking arrest me. You know.
You better not compensate my general views.
Not my fears.
God,
You're gonna say you're trafficking in bootleg Transformers.
Yeah.
That's the charge.
Is this a KO? We got him, boys. Wrap them up.
Anyway, we finally get our food, and then after we get our food, she still brings us a bill, and I'm
Still
like,
brings the bill.
Really? She's trying to double dip.
Oh, double dipping.
anyway.
Candace,
so-
she's like, yeah, I already took care of that. Oh, did you? Oh, okay. Yeah, play stupid. Because her attitude did somewhat change after she realized. We've been sitting there for, damn near an hour waiting for food.
Wow.
And then once we got all packed up and left, Chan walked, the manager's at the register, whatever, and she just leans over and hands the manager the bill that the lady dropped on the table. She's like, I'm just gonna give this to you so you have it. Just kind of rub it in his face. And then she was like, run!
Oh, and then we hung out in the parking lot for like another hour.
Yep.
And,
Nice.
and it's like I opened my trunk again. And you're like, don't do it.
He closed the blinds before we left, so he couldn't see out there.
Oh, man.
Good times.
We probably would be in jail.
That
In
is-
Oaks, PA, or Phoenixville.
And it's the weekend, man. So yeah, you wind up in central booking. You ain't seeing the judge till Monday morning. You're fucked. Better call in sick. Better call in sick with that phone call.
You boys better get comfortable up in here.
Loosen up
Oh,
some
man.
buttholes.
Oh, that sounds like an interesting weekend, Brink. Anything else to add as far as like the RetroCon or at Cybertronic? Is that what they're called? The Cybertronic Spree, that concert?
Cybertronic spree.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think that's it. I covered everything pretty much yesterday, and then today I just want to talk about the concert and the Bob Evans story. I will say though, it was interesting sight to see Chan and JD at this show for the first time, because they come in and I finally catch up to them in an aisle and they are just mesmerized. I mean, this thing's like what, 4 times the size of NJCC, maybe 5 times the size.
Oh, it's huge.
And JD is like, we're moving too fast. We gotta
I'm
slow
on
down.
overload. I'm on overload.
He's like, I gotta look at everything. And I tell you, man, I walked that convention 3 times and walked with JD. You know how he finds shit that we never see? Dude, he was pulling shit out of fucking booze that I was like, I was here 3 times. I never saw that there. I was like, dude, he's got an eye. He's got an eye for that shit. But it was funny, dude, seeing you. You're just like, oh my God. I didn't pick enough on.
Both of us. As soon as we walked in the door, we found that Alf. It's like, oh my God. I pointed at it and she's like, so I just like quick reached in, grabbed the $30 and gave it to the dude, and she carried it around the whole fucking show. Like,
Did you see the life size one? There was like a life size one.
an Alf?
Yeah, size of me.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know. I don't know whether somebody bought it, but there was one big old stuffed up Alf the size of me.
Didn't see it.
Dude, Dom, that was a Chewbacca. That wasn't an Alf.
Oh man, look, Retro now in the chat. He said, I went to Bob Evans yesterday and he says he saw you guys' pics on the wall.
The usual suspects.
Banned for life.
Whatever. They're getting a bad review, so fuck them. Fucking assholes.
Give them a bad review on Yelp, right? Is that the app? Do that on?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm pretty
see,
sure
oh,
they
yeah.
have like their own thing where they monitor the, each store. You know what I mean?
Okay. I was about to say it sounded like someone was vacuuming, but I think we found the
I
culprit.
think that was me. Oh, no, it was Tom. I'm like adjusting my dials. I'm like, did I miss up one of these?
Well, I'm glad you guys could hear it and it wasn't just me. Sometimes I think
I heard it.
Oh man. All right. Well, I wish I could say my weekend was as interesting, but I'm just been keeping it low key, just waiting for TFCon, just really looking forward to that event. So, it's just here with the wifey catching up on some Netflix shows and eating as we do on the weekends. So yeah, and now I'm here with you guys. Let's get into our discussion and stuff. You know what? We didn't really get to talk much about New York Comic Con from a couple of weeks ago. Tons of pictures coming out of that event, and other shows within the network have covered it. We didn't really feel the need to go into it much, but I do want to ask you guys, because I know I've scaled back like my collecting a lot, but I know the rest of you are full steam ahead with the stuff that you guys are collecting.
Scale back. I don't understand that.
So yeah, exactly. So I just wanted to hear what you guys think as far as things you saw coming out of that event. Like, what do you think of the current direction of the lines that you collect currently, and was there anything coming out of that show that you're interested in, or do you feel like companies are falling off? So just let's go round robin on this. I'm sure you guys have an opinion. Dom, what do you think coming out of that show?
I saw a lot of like interesting things. Like the one that caught my eye was not a lot came out, but whatever did come out was interesting because of the fact that, especially Black Series, like when I saw, General Grievous is like a character that we all wanted to come out in that line, and alternatives have been out there but have sucked, or you required extra effort to put it all together and color it up if you knew somebody can do that, right, JD? So, but Dave's not even paying attention. But don't worry about it.
I'm listening. What do you want me to do? I'm listening.
Oh, you have to give Dom your full undivided attention. You know how he gets, bro. You know how he gets. Dude. Do we have to do this live on the air? As always. Damn.
That's it. He's like fucking shopping. He knows he's shopping. He's like. So basically, I thought the head sculpts, especially the Obi-Wan Kenobi, was really good, and I hope, and like with this General Veers, if anybody has grabbed that figure, it looks really good.
Amazing.
So
is that the one you picked up for us or no?
Yeah, that's the one that I picked up for you guys.
Veers for everybody.
Veers for everybody.
I like that. Veers for everyone. Veers.
I got your Veer. You want a Veer? You want a Veer? But it was,
so is that the digital paint aspect? Like, is that what it is?
The sculpt and the paint and everything looks really well on that figure. Like they hit it with the Tarkin too. Like it's not perfect, but it's better than what they've produced in the past. So I'm all for continuous improvements and going forward and stepping up and always continuing on and your brand and making it better. Especially at the price points that they are. And like I said, I'm not subjected to the fact that I'll pay $5 more if it takes you to that next point. You know what I'm saying? So, but they're not. They're keeping it at the $20 price mark, and they're producing these head sculpts that that compete as much as to NHA's figure art. So
Dom, let me ask you a question. That Obi-Wan that you're talking about, you like the head sculpt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did they is that a new? It's completely new, or did they come out with one already?
There's a couple. Like, you mean old Obi-Wans?
The same one. He's in the clone trooper outfit with the fucking cape.
No. He
never came out with that figure before.
No, but they did come up with an episode 6 Obi-Wan. So there is one where he has his episode 6 robes, and the head sculpt on that. The head sculpt on that one was horrible. So it's
right.
Episode 3, you mean?
Episode 3. I'm sorry. Yes.
But what I'm thinking is, with these better head sculpts, you could just pop them out like JD does and pop them on a new one.
Well,
make it look better.
I was gonna add that the sculpt is usually there. 9 times out of 10, their sculpt is usually on point. It's the paint that ruins it. The horrible paint that ruins the sculpt.
Yeah.
I've seen people do customizations on figures with their painting skills and make something look completely different than it originally came.
I know JD has them. I found one at GameStop, but the Rebel Trooper, the Rebel soldier is pretty good too. His head sculpt, so they're really doing a good job. Like I've been picking up like my current theory or my methodology to collecting Star Wars 6-inch was that I would always pick up the SH Figure Arts human characters because of the better head sculpts that they would have. But now, with where Black Series is going, and they're kind of, catching up to where Marvel Legends are, I think, it's going to really make me debate on whether I buy the next SH Figure Arts, human character. So it's going to be interesting. So
and that's good too. Oh, go ahead, Gary.
I was going to say, I kind of agree actually with Dom here. I've said this before, on the show, that the Clone Wars, the series, is by far my favorite segment of the Star Wars universe. And it actually kind of pulled me back in, just getting excited to see Grievous and that General Kenobi with the updated sculpt. The Rex, when they redid his face from the con San Diego last year with the digital paint, and it's Wolf, right? The other one that has removable helmet. To Dom's point, I'm interested in that series again, but the original ones look like a totally different toy line to me. When you kind of put it in comparison, I don't think that they even fit together. So, I'm kind of back into it, with the Clone Wars characters, but only anyone that's done with that look going forward. I don't feel compelled to go backwards and get anyone that I didn't have that doesn't have that same type of look to it, because I don't think it fits as well. So it's kind of neat to see that. Just hoping that they have some more creativity with more of the creatures, and just not just repainting the same droid over and over and over again. And just expanding that universe in the 6 series that we've talked about before versus the 3 3/4 scale. So,
and they do get into the clone, that General Kenobi is a homage to the original Clone Wars animated series. So that's not the costume that he wore through the Clone Wars TV series. This was the shorts that they put out.
Yeah, the brothers who did the Matrix. Yeah.
Yep.
No, it's Lenny Tartakovsky.
Yep. So it's
Gendy.
It's a great outfit. It's a great look. I really enjoyed that look when I saw it first on those shorts. So it's it's something. I even have a statue of that look from Gentle Giants. Yeah. So it's a good it's going to definitely be a desirable character figure for me. But what I also like that they're doing, and from a collector standpoint, now for that Legacy series that they're bringing back and bringing some back of those old figures now, I would like to see what they do with that. I know they're bringing back Boba Fett and Bosk and IG-88, so
they're using all the digital paint on those too.
That's what I want to know, JD. Are they going to introduce I know Slay Leia is going to be a very hard, kind of reach, because they probably won't do it.
Nope.
But trying to put at least her head in a future release, so we can at least get a new head sculpt for that, not the body, but I feel like with that Legacy, they're going to go back to some of those older figures like Jedi Luke, that were just horrible.
Luke will be one.
Bespin Luke, all the Lukes that they can go back, but people, even other lines, have a trouble nailing Luke down. It's kind of a hard head sculpt to get, because SH Figure Arts has their issues with it. Hot Toys have their issues with it. So it's trying to get that head sculpt locked down is a hard head sculpt to lock down.
Hey, does anybody know, or in the chat even, Sabine from Rebels, she was hard to get for a while, and then she kind of came back out, and you can find her on Amazon and stuff. Did that second reissue have the digital paint that anybody got or see?
I have it right here.
Yeah.
The reissue, is it the same, Brian?
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
But the eyes on this one are better than the one I originally had.
Yeah, it was always a hit or miss with the eyes positioning on that figure. She comes with her own garbage bag that you can put on top of her head.
The trash bag accessory. It's a must. Yeah. No, I agree with what you said earlier, though. That gap is closing between what they're doing with that paint and the figure arts, because I honestly don't think that figure arts does a good job with the likenesses of the actors that they're putting out for these figures. I don't think they do a good job at all, especially for that price point. So to see what we're getting at this lower price point, it's why you know, I could understand why you feel the way you feel. Why would you pay the more money? You know, when you're getting something that looks better for a lower price point.
Well,
Surprising.
it also depends what you're using it for too, because
Correct.
like an SH Figuarts, like I get it. Like at one point, the sculpt might have been better than Black Series, and now I agree. Black Series is stepping up. Some of the Black Series sculpts look amazing, but you're not getting that articulation that you get from Figuarts. You're not getting 5 hands, you know, different posable hands. You're not getting different faces on some of the characters, you know. So you're still getting a little more, which I think that eventually Black Series needs to start doing too. Maybe just put an extra 2 hands in the back, you know. But a 4th hand, other hands are always holding something. Like,
if they raise their price point to like say $25 and they add a couple more hands and say a little bit more accessories, that you know, I wouldn't mind that price increase. Right? You know what I'm saying? You know?
I agree.
They're making their money. They can throw that shit in there.
Yeah, but like, you know, if they have to raise it $5 just to get us some equivalent to what SH Figuarts does in regards to the extra hands and stuff like that, I wouldn't mind paying an extra $5 rather than paying an extra $40 for an SH Figuarts. You know,
why do you really want all that stuff on a 6-inch figure so it can sit in the box like your Hot Toys stuff does? Though
That's not true.
No. There's collectors. There's collectors who utilize that stuff.
Well, look, put it this way.
I disagree. No, I disagree. Hold on. Okay, but so like I think people pick the one pose that they like, and you know, use whatever accessories, and they get it, and they kind of leave it like that. I don't think most people go back in the box and manipulate it and change stuff around. Once they get it posed where they like in the DTOF, they shut the DTOF door and then they sit there.
Harry, you get to put it in the pose that you like, not the pose that they give you.
Exactly, but that's what I was going to say.
Sitting here with a grip hand, he's like going to grab his dick. He's not holding a gun or nothing. I mean, he's just sitting there. It looks terrible.
Right. Let's say, okay, the 6 of us all have the same fucking Jedi Luke Black Series, right? There's only so much you could do with him, so he's only going to be in like the same 4 or 5 poses that he could physically do.
I have a cloak on mine, so he's like completely useless.
Okay. But I'm just saying, let's say we all had the same figure and nothing was different about them all.
Right.
You couldn't have a different display if it wasn't articulated the way SH Figuarts might be. I'm just saying, not all the time, but you know, you're saying that people don't do that. I purposely do that. Like I'm purposely have stuff in a weird, awkward position because the figure can do that, as opposed to the Black Series that's very limited to what it can do.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, Gary, is that, you know, I probably am more of the first person that you talked about, where I probably won't utilize much of the additional accessories, but I buy the deluxe or I buy the extra accessories because I just like to have the option.
Yeah.
So the least the option is there for me to do it if I want to do it. So it's my choice on whether I just want to take the 2 hands I want on the figure, put it up there, and never change them again. But then, like I said, like you get the doldrums. You do get doldrums in your collecting, and all of a sudden you might be looking at a figure and say, you know what, I want to position that guy a little bit different, or I want to put another outfit on him because I want to change it up a little bit. If I didn't have that option, I wouldn't be able to do it. So
here's what I think is better if you want to capture more of that. You know, go back to like what happened again in the 80s with like G.I. Joe, and you could buy, you know, all those weapons packs separately without figures that were, you know, different colors of weapons and accessories that came with individual figures, or you could buy, you know, different missiles in different colors that could go on your vehicles to make it look differently, and just buy like a true accessory pack that way for pieces. But I don't know. I don't think on a 6-inch figure a bunch of extra hands and
I hear you, man. I hear you.
All that stuff is really going to do much. But
Gary, I think those accessory packs are because we lost our accessories as kids.
Yes.
And also, Gary, I think you would feel differently if you collected more than just Voltron, who only has the 2 hands that go like this.
Yeah.
Hold on, JD. I cut off JD like 5 times. Go ahead.
We all did. So whatever. I like, you know, with building a Dios and all that stuff, I'm trying to sell an illusion. If my figures are standing there like they're holding people's dicks, it's not selling any sort of illusion except they want to stroke some dicks.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that's what I
Invisible
don't know.
dicks.
It fucking bugs me that they give you one accessory or sometimes none, and they have holding hands. Like
Exactly.
why?
Well, because
You know what I mean?
if you collect other figures in the line, you would have weapons that you could stick in there. Like usually they give you a port that's universal. Like no, so you could just
like-
kind of put any weapons you
Like
want.
the weapons that come with the other figures are meant for them. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah, like
Han
JD's talking
Solo's
about, like
blaster. I'm not going to give it to a stormtrooper.
Obviously, but there might be kids that do that shit.
it's like it's like for the Jedi, like you only need one holding hand to hold the lightsaber, but
And
you
another,
don't need
like-
another holding hand because he's not going to hold a gun. It's a Jedi, so you might need a relaxed hand or a force wielding hand.
They
Something-
did it. Hey, they did it with a couple of them. The
Yes,
new
they
Han
did.
Solo came with one. Qui-Gon came with an extra hand.
Did you just say Han Solo?
Yeah, the Bespin Han Solo.
Yeah, he's not a fucking Jedi. He need, it's like you need it for certain characters. Han Solo only holds shit.
You get what I'm saying, though.
I know,
They
I
have
know.
done it. It's just like, why don't they do it with
More
a
often.
lot?
You need like a
Yes.
good ass grabbing hand for Han Solo. Like you need something like that.
Yeah, ass padding.
An app description. Yeah.
You need that dumb hand when he points to himself.
Yeah. This guy. So I like Gary, like on your point, like I said, I think I'm the more the person that would don't really want to use those, like really don't intend to use it, but I just like the option to have it.
Gort in the chat brought up the fact that people who do like heavy duty toy photography or even amateurs, like experts like Dave, though. I mean, they use all that stuff.
Yeah, like I can see a toy photographer wanting all those options because he's gonna take pictures of them in all those dramatic stances and stuff like that. So
it's not even for that too. It's also like, I mean, for me, it's the way I want it displayed. Like I'm looking at them now, and some of these positions I have them in, I'm sorry, but a Black Series couldn't do it. It's just it's good to mix. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about Black Series. I have a ton of that stuff, but the SH Figuarts debate that I have on some characters is like I have Han Solo. He's I can get it, but he's running and shooting. I couldn't do that pose with a Black Series. He would have fell over 5 times already.
Yeah.
Or you know, stand.
Or I would have needed a stand for it. He's on no stand and he's chilling.
And I agree with you, Dave. There, the articulation on an SH Figuarts is great, and you are paying a little extra for that. But the paying extra also came with regards to the head sculpt, and better than I know that the head sculpt is the price that we pay for Hot Toys. Like you're not paying for flexibility or any way what the body is doing. You're paying for that damn head sculpt, and the majority of the cost in a Hot Toys is the head sculpt. So I can see in the HH Figuarts and when they were beating Black Series, that head sculpt was probably where they're putting a lot of the money into trying to get it more movie accurate or show accurate. And now it's like, okay, I'm willing to pay that extra just to get that because I'm not getting it in any other line. But now a line that's doing $20 and their head sculpts are pretty much back to back with you, it's like, I don't know whether I'm really want to dish out another $40 because your character can do a running position or do a split, and what I'm saying, like
I get that.
You'll be okay with the shortcomings because the likeness is there as opposed to the higher.
Or even take it from like just improvements that each line did. Has SH Figuarts approved anywhere of where they were 3 or 5, 3 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
I think they're actually
Black Series is going.
I think they're actually more unreliable in terms of inconsistency. From one character to another. Look at Infinity War, Captain America, and compare that to I don't know. I think the Figuarts isn't as consistent as it used to be for providing that higher standard.
Well, I know with the Dragon Ball Z line, they've improved.
Exactly.
Oh,
I'm not questioning that, Dave. I'm seeing the innovations that they're making with the biceps and all that good stuff that they're doing.
Mhm.
But they haven't really done that with Black Series or even their Marvel figures. So
Yeah, they kill it when it comes to the cartoonish characters or whatever, because it's just I feel like they struggle when it comes to capturing a likeness of an actor or something like that. Yes, exactly. The Dragon Ball Z, those figures look fucking perfect, like they came right out of the anime. Same with like the Street Fighter stuff,
because it's the same figure with just different colored hair all the time.
Low blows tonight. Gary, man.
Except for that.
Did you eat?
You Dragon Ball Z fans, send your hate mail to.
No, I did. Look, who's the guy I ordered, Dave? Who's the guy that I pre-ordered that looked really good? Yes. Okay.
So you got it.
Evil version. The evil.
Yes,
version,
the evil version. He does look cool. He does. Nice. It's a cool looking figure.
You didn't get Brody?
Oh, the Diesel one, not
Did
the
you
one
say
that's
Brody?
Portly. That's
Brody?
the one.
What is it, Brody?
Brody.
Brody? Whatever that fucking character is. The one that looks like, I don't know, but like, looks like he had like a couple needles in his ass.
Yeah. Dave, Gary bought the Majin Buu that was in shape, right? The one that was see, he didn't get the portly one.
Of course not. No way. He would have threw that off the roof. He wants to
pre-order. Yo, Dave, pre-order me that one. I want the portly one.
I have it already. You want to see it? It's right here.
Oh shit! That's the one that was in the picture.
I thought I had it.
Showed it.
I can take him to Pizza Hut. I can take him to Pizza Hut with me.
Yeah, Lowell in the chat said he says he manages to find a lot of his fig arts from Asian sites for only like $10 or $20 more than what the Black Series.
And that was gonna be my point of debate too, was that that's like true. A lot of the S-Face fig arts I got for just a few more bucks than I did Black Series. And if I missed out on some of that older Black Series shit, I was paying SH Figure Art prices for Black Series.
Yeah, but then like if you miss out on HH Figure Arts, you're paying $150, $130, $200. They climb in price too, dude.
Yeah,
they climb in price too. So, but like, okay, I've done the Asian site. So what you got? Anime Export.
Whoa.
But like, okay, what are you talking about? Like, it's like 55. Like on those sites, it's like what, $50, right? $50. But then you have to pay for shipping and handling, which is another $10, $10-$12.
Yep.
So you're paying like $62 for a figure.
Yep.
Like I don't know what, like you're not paying $42. You're not paying $40 or $45 for any SH Figure Arts figure. If you are, please tell me where you're buying these things.
Yeah. I mean, I know sometimes you could get lucky. I don't know if not the stuff that we're collecting, like Star Wars and stuff. But I've gotten lucky with like Kamen Rider stuff for like way cheaper than like on Amazon and stuff. But but I haven't seen any of like Star Wars or Marvel characters for on the cheap.
It's like anywhere, 50. It comes out to like $48, and after like the cheapest I saw was like $48 after conversion, and then you would have to pay shipping. You typically comes out to $10 to $12.
Yep.
But if you're combining that with 10 more items, it's
exactly,
Dave.
And we do that too, Dave. But like I'm just saying, like if you're just buying one figure, you typically are in the price range between like 55, 65.
You don't want your SH Figure Arts Anakin that I have here for you.
No,
right?
I do.
I'm just saying you don't want it. Look, the Black Series is doing it, bro. Like I could just sell this and make more money.
Yeah, but they give Anakin nice faces. I want the mean faces.
That was like no. Wait. He's backtracking.
I paid it. I paid for it.
But that's a good point you brought up, man, and I get that, coming out of that show. Like any other like lines that you saw, is there anything else like as far as like the 6 scale stuff or anything that
like Marvel Legends are killing it. Like I'm not gonna I like where they're going. I think they need to continue. I agree. There's a debate now going on in regards to how they're picking their builder figures and whether they're the Kingpin is a big builder figure, and I don't think it should be a builder figure, like because people are going to want that figure, and now you have to buy 6 figures just to get that one figure. So I think they should really think about what their builder figures are, but like they're it's a business perspective, so they need to sell those the more undesirable toys. So I can understand where they're coming from. So they don't want to make Build-A-Figures like obsolete, who gives a fuck figures. They want to kind of tease and make them good because they want those other figures in the line to sell.
It's an interesting dichotomy though when it comes to that, because like you said, that some figures that might be undesirable, and then you have that like in all lines. So like it makes me question, like, why would they make figures like that? Is it just to be like, hey, we made this obscure character, but if they know nobody's gonna buy it, then why fucking make it? Make another popular character that you know.
Exactly.
You got that one nerd in the fucking closet that's like, I want this fucking obscure figure, and
you're like, I never heard of this fucking guy. This fucking rinky dink level C fucking superhero.
Exactly. And he's on the line and he's like, why can't you come out with this figure, come out with this figures? But like you also have the creators, like there's the designers that have their likes and what they desire, and I'm sure those obscure figures come out, and it all plays into part. But like I think like it's what Build-A-Figures is all about. Like the DC universe is the multi-universe series is doing it, so it's what the ploy is. It's like we give you a piece of a figure in undesirable figures, which you're going to buy because you want to build that big Build-A-Figure.
Hey,
sorry,
go ahead, Dom.
No, because like DC Universe, those Build-A-Figures that came out in those shitty ass lines, like the main figures were horrible, like just fucking disaster. But the Build-A-Figures were awesome. Like King Shark, and all those other Build-A-Figures that came in those multiverse packs, they were really good. And it's unfortunate that you had to buy a crappy figure to get that piece and build that figure. So,
I was talking to Bricks this weekend, and he posed a question. He said, "What would you think about Black Series Star Wars doing Build-A-Figures?" And
I was going to ask you to mention your suggestion. I like the idea.
Well, they had the Build-A-Droid with the smaller line, right? They had the droid pieces that came along with that stuff, and that was pretty cool if you got some of that. But like it was the same way. You didn't want to buy every character to build a droid, So it was the same ploy. They were just trying to sell more stuff.
I kind of like that they don't, because I just don't want them to use that type of marketing, that methodology. I can understand it. I can understand they're doing it for DC and Marvel, but like Star Wars is like everybody wants every character. Like I don't think like every character in Star Wars, whether it's so obscured or not, everybody wants it. Like everybody wants the Cantina, fucking characters. Like I don't think they don't want them. You know what I'm saying? Like I think if you're a Star Wars fan and you like Star Wars, you want all those obscure characters. It's like General Grievous.
Yeah, I agree. You want all the aliens and
you want all the aliens. You want all the, you just don't. But I think the problem with Star Wars is that they just, they do so many Lukes, or they do so like, and granted they do them for every movie, every movie that came out. But like, you also want those obscure characters that you see, those aliens that you see, the droids that you see, and all that stuff.
What if they came with like some kind of just I don't know, battle pieces, like, pieces of like scenery? I think that might be better. You know what I mean? Like,
Select
space junk and shit.
Select has done stuff like that. The Marvel Selects, like you'll get like kind of like little diorama pieces with some of the figures. Like it's interesting when they do stuff like that. I just feel like you're only getting a piece. Like, so it's like, what good is it? Almost like in the, like, what else can you do with it unless you're taking like a super tight picture or something like that?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, but I think stuff like that is interesting. Especially like, let's say if in the line you get a piece or something like that, and you could combine it with other pieces to make like a nice diorama.
Well, the only thing that makes me say that is like I just got my my Vader, my Hot Toys Vader, and he comes with a significant stand, and it looks pretty fucking dope. Like just the stand alone is just like wows me. So
yeah, it reminds me of like the Fig Arts. Was it the Darth Vader or the Luke like that came out that had like kind of like the set piece from the Death Star,
right?
Yeah, so something like that. Like that's cool because if you put that in a DTOF, it's a nice set piece basically. Yeah, so I get you.
Yeah, my idea was, how everybody army builds stormtroopers. I would just throw random stormtrooper parts in every single Black Series figure.
Yeah, and
So
like you know,
basically, you always get an extra part. I'm like, oh, hey, if I buy, I don't want so and so from this line, but the next line comes like, hey, I'm finally gonna get that extra head I need, or something like that. You know.
and I bet you $100, and JD is going to agree with me. I would love them to do like trooper packs, like you know, for a pack of 4 all troopers,
God,
you know,
For a small
They
discount,
kinda
like
do.
maybe for
Yeah.
40.
for 35,
Yeah.
like $35 for 4 of them, you know, something.
Like
So-
in all actuality, like in all honesty, I will say, fuck the Build-A-Figures, fuck the accessories. Give me an extra head sculpt and the fucking posing hands, and I'd be completely happy. I'm going backwards, but you know, that's the way I feel. If they're gonna throw the extra money in to do that kind of stuff, put it in a separate head sculpt and hands.
Yeah,
Head
Maybe some
sculpt,
extra
head
accessories.
sculpt is going to be a far fetch, but like that, I would
Yeah,
love
I
them
know
to
it
do
is,
that.
but-
Yeah,
They're already, they're already spending the money for.
but like I
If
said,
there are-
JD, yeah, if
yeah,
they
if
put
they
put
are,
another
yeah.
$5, if it costs me another $5
Yeah.
to buy, you know, put another head sculpt in there, I'll fucking pay it.
Yeah, I think they started. Didn't DC start doing that with like their icons line? And I'm not sure if that's still like a trend that's continuing with what they're putting out currently. But I think I remember that like getting just an extra pair of hands with Batman, not 4, 5, 6 that you would get with like a figure arts, but just having an extra set to maybe hold the Batarang or something like that. Like I feel like shit like that is a step in the right direction if
And-
other companies start doing that more mainstream.
And I know people rebuttal and they will say like, you know, oh well, Marvel does that with their Marvel figures, but like Marvel's not playing licensing, you know, with all the characters that with Star Wars is doing. And at the end of the day, Marvel saves on body sculpts. Like they reuse body sculpts like a lot. Like people like, you know, when you collect Marvel, you know that it's not as people don't get angry about it because they've done it and they've done it always. But you know, they repaint the characters, they like to the point where you know that you might not recognize what sculpt they're using because they retool it or add something to it, or you know, paint it to shit where you know you're getting it doesn't seem like it's a duplicate. You know what I'm saying? So they do it, and those economies of scales save them money so they can add more hands or more accessories and more heads and stuff like that. So like it's they can't get away with that in Star Wars because Star Wars doesn't have, you know, all the characters are different. All the characters have different body sculpts. So at the end of the day,
that's not true. That's not true. Look at the Imperial guy that came with Admiral Akbar in that Toys R Us 2-pack, and compare that to the body of Tarkin, and compare that to Veers, and compare that to
not
Admiral Piet.
Yeah,
I'm just it's
You know,
the same
Gary,
uniform.
Glad you mentioned
No,
that
they're different.
because Piet and
all different.
Veers are different.
They're all
It looks like Tarkin and Piet might share the same torso, but yeah, man.
and
They-
Gary, but like I'm not saying they don't do it in Star Wars. It's just
Yeah.
it can't be done a lot as much
No,
as what
it's-
Marvel does it.
If it's
So-
done, it's few and far between. You know,
exactly,
a
exactly.
Jedi torso. You know, Imperial.
Look at all your troopers, though, right? The troopers are all, you know, it's this pilot, that pilot. You know, the clone guys are similar. Wolf and Rex share a lot of stuff together. That's like
Yeah,
really
that's-
close.
Because
I'm just saying.
all
So
wearing the same uniform. Though.
it happens in everything. So I don't think that, you know, Marvel's any different. NECA does it. Look at your Turtles. Look at your Predator stuff. I mean, we've been saying that for years. I mean, it goes all the way back to 30 years ago. So
Boba
I
Fett
just-
and Jango Fett are completely different sculpts. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, one has a removable helmet, right? One doesn't.
but they could have used the torso. They could have used the
That's right.
legs. They could have used the arms. They didn't.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, but 4-LOM and 3PO, right? It's pretty much the same figure with a different head.
actually, they're not.
Yeah, all of them.
Gary's like, prove that
Jeez,
shit. Prove that
damn.
shit.
No,
Damn,
I'm just.
Gary.
I wanna
No,
see
no,
the
I'm not.
differences.
I bought the same
Just as
shit like
different.
all of us have. I'm not saying like I've still bought it. I'm just saying it's not one line that does it and one line doesn't. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
it happens everywhere. We've had this discussion many times and many other shows. And
Gary, why do you collect? You hate everything.
no, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true at all.
It is true.
It's like,
He sold all his stuff so he could move to New York.
He's playing
That was
devil's
the
advocate,
best.
bro. He's just giving you that other point of view, man. You know?
Yeah, and Gary, I'm not saying
Well,
I'm not
giving
saying
it
Star
my
Wars.
point of view.
I'm not saying I'm not saying that Star Wars doesn't do it. I'm just saying that they do it. It's just that they can't get away with it as much as Marvel has. And the Bucky
there's
Cap,
not as many spandex costumes.
exactly.
Right?
Like the Bucky Cap mold has been used so many times in that line to the point where there should be like an outcry to say they got to change it. Like they got to come up with a different. They don't fucking do this anymore. But they don't because it's a good action figure. It's a good mold, and they use it for a lot of those figures. So, but.
All right.
The other line that I thought was interesting is, and I collect I collect Hot Toys, and just to see that Hot Toys is doing like accessory packs now. Like I know they're coming out with that accessory pack for the Mark 50, and I know it costs like just the price point and how much the accessory pack is, and it's interesting because you at a high level, collector series point, with like seeing people accepting accessory packs and where that price range is, because it's like Gary said, how many times are you going to take out your Hot Toy and put different things on that character and change them out and stuff like that? Because it's like, is that accessory pack going to be something in the future that they're going to be doing for other characters, and not put out another figure with different accessories and just do an accessory pack and charge like a $200 price point or $180 price point for that accessory pack, which is kind of interesting to see what they do with that and whether they continue that trend. So I know I'm kind of like, I know Dave, you collect Hot Toys and stuff like that, but I just saw that and I was like interested to see like, whether they're going to continue that accessory pack trend, because that was kind of the first thing that the time they're going to do an accessory pack, and how collectors in the community of Hot Toys is reacting to it. So
is it a decent price point that they're putting those things out at? Like, how are people feeling about it? Like,
at all. Like,
just the fact that it's optional, I think is just,
it's definitely optional, but like, as Mark 50, as you all know, in the movie, he has a bunch of shit. Like, he utilized a lot of that nanotechnology that gave him all different types of tools and accessories that he used against Thanos. So the first toy didn't come with all that stuff. So I think a lot of people are saying, it should have came with it, and the price that Mark 50 is at is the highest price that has ever been on a die-cast Iron Man toy. So it's like the highest, and they're just some people are saying they should have just put everything together and priced it at $450 and call it a day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now they're
the same people that complain when another head sculpt comes out and they're like, oh, you should just put out the head sculpt. I would have bought just the head sculpt.
Exactly.
Come on, you can't fucking win. Nobody's ever gonna be happy. So.
Yeah. You'll have those that are for or against. In any case,
especially
I don't know though.
I'm happy.
It's true. Like if you feel like you're spending all that money, like whatever the price is for the base retail figure, and then let's say what is it, like $50 or $60 more to get the extra accessories, like. Like I don't know, like maybe they should have been included because they were made. So why wouldn't you include that? So it kind of just it's almost like they can be accused of just trying to take advantage of the customer, the person that wants to buy the figure, and they're gonna get that extra buck out of that accessory pack. It's optional, like I get it, but more likely than not, people are gonna fucking want it because it was in the film.
Why does Cadillac charge more for 24-inch wheels instead of the 20-inch? On a truck.
Yeah, okay.
No, because it's bragging rights. It's human nature. It's also part of it. So, and look, I'm equally guilty of it. So I'm not. There's no judgment here. I don't want to sound like an ass, but it's exciting to say, that Dom, you said it best. You like getting the deluxe versions because you like having the extra stuff, whether you use it or not, and an option to do something with it. So it's no different. It's like, well, I have this figure. Well, I have, I don't know. It doesn't change anything. It's just, you know.
I agree, guys. I just bring it up because I just want to see whether it's going to be a trend that they're going to be doing, or whether they're just, you know, it's just this one-time deal, and you know, they're not going to end up doing accessory packs for any other figures and stuff like that. So.
Well, it's certainly interesting because, you know, with the cost of things, you don't see vehicles at larger scales, right? You don't see play sets so much anymore, but maybe it could be, you know, if people buy it, it could certainly open up a wide range of other options and things, you know, for dioramas and, you know, I guess making your display unique, right? Is kind of what everyone's always striving to do. So,
and I'll just chime in. If you're going to buy the bigger rims, you're a fool because tires are like twice the price for some stupid reason.
But we all know, like, you know, like companies, especially toy companies, they like when it comes to Barbies and stuff like that, like, you know, their margin is not big on the figure itself, like the Barbie itself. It's all the accessories that you put on the Barbie and stuff like that. So it's like those accessory packs are the larger margins, and like, you know, just like a camera, the margin in a camera is not as big as, you know, the margin that they would do to sell the film, you know, for the camera. So like, you know, companies make money on those smaller items because, you know, they can push the limit in regards to their asking price for it. So,
well, go to the movies and get a snack.
Yeah,
that's why.
I'm just saying, it's the same thing.
Same thing.
You buy the printer cable separate when you buy print.
Yeah. All right, guys, just a quick heads up. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put a kibosh on the conversation, but it looks like YouTube is having some issues, and I'm trying to like look at what's going on the mobile, and getting like a little server error. So, and a lot of people in the chat are chiming in saying that the streams kind of went dead for them. Like the viewers have dropped down from what I could see here in the control room. So I don't know. YouTube is having issues. We're still broadcasting as far as what I can tell. So, you know, if anybody, you know, of course the show is on demand. You can watch it, you know, anytime, or it's on audio. So we'll continue trucking along here. I do have another thing I kind of wanted to bring up, but I don't know about doing this little question game if the people in the chat are not going to be able to see what's going on. So unfortunately, we did want to do that tonight, guys. So just if anybody is still watching, I see there's a couple of viewers still are probably still viewing the stream. It's showing 4, but it was down from where we were down before. Like it's just been steadily going down, and people in the chat are saying they're having issues with the stream. They keep getting kicked out. You could probably see it if you guys go on your mobile and try to go to YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm getting the same issue.
This video is unavailable.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So we're almost at that 90-minute mark. Just real quick, was there any other lines that anybody else saw, like, or anybody else want to chime in on the current direction of the stuff they collect? I don't know how many Chug collectors are still out there besides me.
Yeah, let's
Brian,
talk about that.
I know.
Let's talk about that, Jose. Let's do it.
I know you collect. You collect some mainline stuff.
So tell me about it. Do you like it? You like Siege? Are you gonna,
I dug when they showed off the Autobots earlier in the year, and then seeing the Decepticons revealed here, I think it's pretty cool looking. I just wanted to, I know Gary's not really into it. Dave doesn't really collect it, but what do you guys feel? Based off what we were getting with this Power to Prime stuff, and we were kind of tuning out.
Jose, I collect it, but I think Siege is going to be my cherry picker. Like, I'm not going all in on it anymore.
No.
Like, I think this is going to be my slow down in regards to Trug, because I'm probably going to cherry pick some of those characters, those figures, but I'm not going all in on everything. So,
what is it? Is it something that's turning you off, like, to the way it looks? Are you not feeling what they're doing? Like, what is it?
I think they're just revamping. Like, I think they're just starting over because they got no more. I got my classics. I got my Chug. Like, I got my Starscream. I got, how many Starscreams did we get? And granted, I understand why they did Starscream and Combiner Wars and all the Starscreams that we got after the original classic one that we got. But I don't need. It feels like they're just doing a repurposing and putting all the characters back again, and I'm
every time.
Yeah, but but other lines like Combiner Wars, you got your combiners in it, and then when it came to Titan's Returns, you got some of those headmasters in it. So like there was other things, but I think this Siege line, like they're reaching on some, like, you know, some stuff, and they're, you know, don't get me wrong, they're probably doing the best Shockwave that they're ever doing or ever
that
did.
thing looks fucking great.
But that's like one figure I probably will pick up because the fact that it's probably the best Shockwave they've done so far. Reflector is probably going to be another one I picked up, but because the Legend Reflector that they came out is just ridiculous. But like, you know, it's just I feel like, you know, the Soundwave, like, do I really need to buy another Soundwave? Like,
yeah,
like, you know, it looks beautiful, don't get me wrong. Like, but it's just like the alt mode. What is the alt mode? Like, what is that?
Yeah. Okay. See, so I get it. And that's the thing, because it's interesting. I've seen varying opinions. You know what I'm saying? I think all this shit looks great. Like, I get it. It's supposed to be Cybertronian and they look like they're Earth alt modes. I kind of get that criticism from what people are saying. But to me, I like the detailing in the figures. I think they look great. Using, yeah. And the most interesting thing to me and that I like is that they're actually kind of keeping like a certain scale now, because in the past lines, I mean, like those Star Screams you mentioned out of Combiner Wars, like those were leader class figures. We got a leader class Megatron, we finally got a leader class Optimus, you know, and Power the Primes, but the scale varies between the characters. You know, because you're getting deluxes of characters that probably should be Voyagers or leaders or whatnot, and now it seems that like they're trying to stay consistent with scale here in this line. Like, you know, you're gonna get those Carbots that are gonna be like deluxe size. You know, your leader kind of like type figures, and I don't mean the class. I mean like characters like Optimus, Megatron, Starscream, Soundwave. You're getting all those in a Voyager scale, because I feel like they should be bigger than kind of like those grunt figures. Or those grunt like characters. And then, you know, they said Shockwave is going to be leader class, but it looks like to me like the figure is Voyager, but with all the added on bits, it's going to make him like a leader class figure. So, and Ultra Magnus, same thing. You're going to have a figure underneath that armor that seems like it's going to be Voyager scale with everything put on him, leader class. So I'm digging that. I'm digging, you know, again, it's like a reboot. Like you said, we're going to be getting, it's like getting these characters again. You know, characters that we bought before, but the consistency, it looks like less waffles. It looks like they're putting a little bit more love compared to what we were getting with Combiner Wars, where everything looked like it was just a remold with the same 3 basic molds. And then, you know, the paint, the job that they're doing with the little scratched up paint, I guess we will have to see more in person.
We're paying. We're definitely paying for that, though.
Yeah.
You know, the price point has increased. So your deluxe is going to be 20. Your Voyager is going to be 30. The leader's probably going to be 60.
Yeah, so. and the figures, it looks like they've added more parts. Like some of them are getting more love. Like it looks like a lot of almost every figure across the line, besides the tiny ones, are going to have like ankle tilts, a little bit of battle damage, maybe the little special effects when it comes to the weapons. So just, you know, I'm seeing all that stuff. You know, the characters reminiscent of G1 but updated, which is kind of what I like. Disappointing, like you said, that Soundwave. I think the robot mode looks incredible, and it's dope that you can still put the cassettes in the chest and all that. But yeah, the alt mode looks a little weird, and I know that there's kind of like a hidden mode where you can make them that Cybertronian tower thing that we saw in the G1 episode. So cool, you know what I'm saying? But I thought the line looked really good. So I thought, I was saying like, I think I'm out after Power to Primes. I'm out, but I still like messing with Chug. I still like to buy Chug figures just because of the playability and just being able to mess with them. And I really dug. And I'm really digging what they're doing with this line, with the reveals of the Autobots. And
I might check them
so
out.
Far.
Like I might give them that little last.
Yeah, JD. Like I know you were out. You were like, I'm done. You're selling your Transformers collection. You know, at you know the NJCC events and stuff that we sell at. So
well, those were all my doubles. I kept. I have ones that I can play with.
Yeah.
I was just all extra shit. But you know what I mean? I was still like, I'm not buying any more of the shit.
Okay. So
it's
some
just
of that
in the
stuff
direction of heading, and like seeing it here and there. You know, I'll probably grab a few, check it out, see what I think.
I think it looks really good. I think it looks really good.
I'm still expecting the same issues.
Floppy
and
you would
not necessarily waffles, but probably hollow.
Yeah. I mean, you could see that. It looks like they've done a better job in regards to some of the other figures that they put out like in these past few years. But I mean, it's still gonna be there. This is still figures that are retailing at a
like
20,
what's the new hot one right now? What's the new hot line? The Cyberverse or what is it?
Yeah, the Cyberverse figures
like
from the cartoon. Yeah,
I do not understand the allure of those things.
That's simplified bullshit. Like,
I mean, they might as well be one steppers.
Yeah. Like, if that stuff sells to the kids and if it actually sells and enables them to make a profit, then great. But yeah, like I feel like when you have to thumb things down like that for kids, like, hey, like make these kids work, give them a little bit of a challenge. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, they didn't dumb it down for us.
Exactly. So it's just I don't know. It's a little
Kids are
weird when it comes to that stuff.
I think the thing with Cyberverse is it's a cartoon backing it up. So
yeah.
There's gonna be some, when kids are watching that cartoon and they want the toy in Christmas, parents are gonna go get it. So.
Yeah, but Prime was the same way. They didn't really chintz on that shit.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, careful kids. I mean, a toy gives them a hangnail. I mean, there's lawsuits.
But that's cool.
Look, little kids, stop being a bunch of fucking pussies. Nobody's fucking handing you the world. Stop being a bitch.
Well, I do like that a lot of the figures almost have like a MP look, and they're just kind of looks like they're gonna just thumb it down slightly to the tooling of what you would get with the generations. But it definitely, to me, just by looking at it, who knows when we get it in hand.
And
but
that would be awesome.
Yeah, but just by looking at it, it looks a little bit more involved than the stuff that we've been getting over the past 3 years with this last trilogy.
And what's pissing me off though, Jose, is that like that sideswipe that's coming out in this Siege line, it looks good. Don't get me wrong, it looks good.
It looks like the MP. It looks like the MP in a chug scale, probably a chug price. It's it's going to be $20, but it does look good, and it might even be better than the classics one. So that's what's going to piss me off, because then I'm like, that classic sideswipe is my chug. It's always going to be my chug. And then at the end of the day, it's like if they're going to start putting out chugs like that sideswipe, that's going to look like the MP at a chug price and in a smaller scale. That's going to be pretty cool. Like it's going to be hard for me to resist to get something like that. Yeah. I agree, because I love classics, but not all of those figures are like a home run.
Yeah, and that's what I'm going to be afraid of, because if they do another line of chug, but set up the quality, like bump up the quality, make them look really cool and shit, like pump what they're doing. Volume, dance. Yeah, like I'm going to be my wallet's probably going to be hating me, because it's like I'm going to buy
everything anyway.
Yeah, I know I do.
Yeah.
Maybe look, he's got cases of that fucking
Cyberpunk. Well, be on the lookout for
one steppers.
Yeah, you live in the land of milk and honey. So like with Toys R Us gone, and I don't have too much faith in Jeffrey's toy box. We still got to see what that's all about. Yeah. So I might need you to kind of get those out in the wild for me. If you
no problem.
Do you think they're making these like MP style transformations and stuff to get people to stop buying the KOs? Just like, I'll just buy my chugs.
I think it's a nice direction for the chugs to go in, man. Like, because it's like at this point we've had the MP. Those MPs have been out for years, so why can't they re-engineer that in a way, and make it, at a cheaper price point for the mass retail market? Like, what I'm saying? So it looks like that's what they're doing here, because I mean that's what it looks like to me. That side swipe,
third party sitting in with Legends and getting it very close. So it's granted, the articulation or all the points of articulation might not be there, but it's damn close in scope and everything like that. So,
do you guys? Hey, I don't know. Do you guys know what the storyline is between this Siege on Cybertron? I was just wondering, if they have Earth modes, maybe it's because they're coming back from Earth to Cybertron. Does that help explain?
Shrugs.
I don't know,
knows?
Brian. I don't know what the storyline is.
Uh,
I'm assuming is Machinima going to put a cartoon? Like, is this
I
going to
hope not.
yeah,
I hope not.
going to be a cartoon series? Like, is there going to be some type of
I haven't.
like, animated series based on this Siege thing?
Give it to an actual cartoon studio, not
Yeah,
just
that'd be
fucking
great.
jackholes in their garage.
I love this JD.
Yeah, I don't know if anything has come out as far as like supplemental like material for this, like a comic or whatever. You know,
Yeah, maybe the
IDW is
comic
ending the current run as far as that continuity is concerned. So if they're keeping the Transformers license as far as comic books, maybe they will put out something kind of hand in hand with this toy line, but I haven't seen anything. But
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna cross my fingers.
yeah, we'll keep you
You're right.
posted. We'll keep you posted if anything. All right, let's just wrap on that. Brian, did you?
Oh, wait, real
I know you were collecting Chug. Are you gonna collect this line? Anything there that got you intrigued? That you saw?
I'll get the Prime, of course. I may take a look at that Ultra Magnus just for shits and giggles, because it's like that. It's intriguing because it's G1 in design, but it's RID and aesthetic. At least for the alt mode, I think that's kind of so.
That's cool.
I think I have a feeling I'm gonna want to fiddle with it. So either maybe I could play with yours, Jose, or
You're welcome anytime.
Well,
Anytime, Brian.
or I'll get it from myself and sell it.
It just got all sexy in here.
You got me excited. Now I have to lend it to you.
But other than that, I really don't have anything else that I want to get from a Chug perspective. Like, they aren't putting out any characters that I'm interested in, whereas the last 3 or 4 lines there have been characters like,
Yes.
ooh, I want to get that. Ooh, I want to get that.
Okay.
That's what I fear about this line. It might be the death of Generations, because it's like there was a purpose for those other lines. Those other lines were filling gaps of characters that we didn't get. Granted, they did stick in a Starscream and an Optimus Prime because they sell. They sell.
Yeah,
Megatron sell. But like Megatron in Titans Return it was meant to be Blitzwing. It was. I'm saying, like, it was meant to be something else. They just wanted to put it in just to get another use of that mold. But I feel like there was a purpose for Combiner Wars and Titans Returns and all those other lines, because they were filling some figure gaps that we wanted. Characters that we wanted. I just don't know what this line is going to be. What the purpose of this line is for.
Yeah. Well, it's saying again, it's a trilogy, so I could see them. It looks like we're getting like a lot of season 1 characters with what they've revealed so far. I could see them doing year 2. Maybe characters we saw second season or in other seasons, and even in the 3rd year of this line, because they're going to be keeping with this motif. Maybe characters from season 3 and beyond, kind of like what we got with Power of the Primes and
I'm sure there's an Omega Supreme coming out, because this is definitely down the pipeline. But like it's definitely a character that I would pick up. But like I feel like does this line going to be like some watered down to the point where collectors are going to be like, I don't want to collect them all, and that sometimes becomes a death of a line. Because companies are anticipating you're going to collect them all, like you're going to get them all, and if collectors are not getting them all, they're going to feel that hit.
Yeah. All right. Let's wrap on that. I really wish we could have played this game tonight, but with the YouTube issues, I don't think it's going to be a good time. So
real quick, I just want to chime in and say, like, with the stuff that was announced at New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
I've heard nobody mention this, but Storm Collectibles is doing Fist of the North Star.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's a statue or a figure. No one has, like, out of all the shows that I watch, no one has fucking brought this up. They bring up Storm Collectibles, but they don't say the Fist of North Star.
I wasn't sure if that was like an action figure or if it looked, because it almost looked like a statue.
It looks like a statue, and I'm hoping that it is an action figure. But either way, I'm still interested in it because they have the property and they're gonna kill it.
That's dope.
And JD, I like what they're fucking doing, dude. It's like,
I love it.
Have you guys all watched that Fist of the North Star?
Absolutely.
I love that.
Oh,
shit.
I love that fucking movie. Yeah, I love that.
I saw that shit when it came out. Like,
And how old is that? Is that from the 80s?
That's
yeah,
80s.
it's like
right?
1980,
Yep.
1983.
I remember when my friend put me onto that at first. Same friend that put me on to Dragon Ball Z. And I was like, "What the fuck is this? This is sick," you know. And I'd never seen anything like that prior, so that's how I got into fucking anime. I should say.
Yeah, remember how we had to do that back in the day with the tapes and shit, like fucking. Sometimes not even sub.
I have the entire series on VHS. That's subtitle. Yeah. And then I have the movie English dubbed, and then there's like DVD. Well, actually, no, it was never really released on DVD.
I never watched the series. Was that any good? Because I only watched.
It was pretty good. It kind of elaborated more on, and it followed after what happened in the movie.
Okay.
There was all kinds of new characters, and him still looking for Julia, and it just kind of went around in circles in a way. But there was a new series that came out. It's called The New Fist of the North Star, and it's the same story. It's like updated animation and all that kind of stuff. Which is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. It's not as awesome as that is. It's not doesn't have the same art style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fucking Bruno-san art style is where it's at. I love that shit. But yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. I'm sorry.
No, that's cool. Because I mean, anybody else? Any other stuff coming out of that show? Any, like. I know people were excited with any of the Storm collectible stuff. I haven't collected any of that stuff, but people were hitting me up. Hey, you can get me this, you get me this. So it's just interesting to see that allure that some of these other lines bring to people. Again, like I said, I've scaled back. So coming out of that show, it was just kind of like the Transformer stuff that I'm looking at. Because if I'm collecting anything, that's like I said, the stuff that I enjoy the most, fig arts and all that stuff I've been getting out of, and I collect. Third party here and there.
Well, I'll sell you a regular Ermac if you want it.
I think. Dom. I know Dom. Was looking for some Mortal Kombat.
I have a regular Ermac.
Yeah.
I'm pissed that I didn't pick up Scorpion and fucking Sub-Zero because it's like a fucking arm and leg to get those.
Yeah. So.
Hey Dom, you know that dude you hit up in that group for that Chun-Li?
Yeah.
Hit him up when you can after you buy that and say, hey, just wondering if you have one of these, that you can find for me.
Yeah.
Because he's really good at that.
And I probably will.
But retail,
I backed out of that pre-order because one of my other friends was able to get me that Chun-Li, so he had an extra. So I told him to cancel. But he was cool about it. But I might just hit him up and see whether he has anyone or knows anyone that is willing to, get rid of him. I think I did, say that to him in my first message to him. So I'll see if I can find it. But I'll be patient with it. God knows they weren't exclusive. So hopefully they might do a double pack or something like that eventually down the line.
Well, that's what I mean. Is there no chance of those things getting reissued? Like
nobody knows. Nobody knows.
I think there is because they just keep coming out with more and more fucking different, Rain and Smoke and all those other characters. It's the mold's still there. Just gotta throw a fucking version 2 on the box and call it a day.
And just let's talk from a business, like a company's perspective, because on that perspective, they're gonna want to reissue some of those characters. So people might be hesitant, like me, to buy the current stuff because they were able to get the first stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, and it sucks when you're gonna get discouraged when those prices are so high on the aftermarket. And I agree. Like for an exclusive, I don't think it should be reissued. But those were not exclusives, so they should be reissued. You know what I'm saying? Like I get the exclusives. Don't reissue exclusives because those exclusives were meant to drive people to go to the shows and stuff like that. But for Sub-Zero and Scorpion, they weren't exclusives. They should be reissued. Yeah.
So
just
that's my take. That's my take on it. That's my take. But it's just ridiculous because I didn't go on Reptile, and fucking once Reptile sold out, it jumped up to $150. It's just ridiculous.
Well, Dom, they did reissue them. They just reissued them in different colors.
Yeah, with the blood on it.
Exactly.
But I like my figures without blood.
Dom just wants everything and anything. I want it all.
Dom needs to get some detox.
I'm starting a Kickstarter for those.
Get in on that while you can. All right, guys. We'll continue on broadcasting, but let's call that for the night, man. Fucking YouTube having these issues.
Fuck
man.
you,
I
YouTube.
wanted to play this game. So myself, JD, G Money will bank our questions. I had a good question for the chat too. So we'll do it next week, and we'll have some fun. So
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
Ask the question. That would be good.
You just gave me a flashback. Oh shit! All right, let's call it on that. I'm gonna be sending out the link for the unbroadcasted ROC Hangout as soon as this show goes off the air. So look out for that in the Realm of Collectors Facebook group. And with that, let's run it down the line. Get some where you at before we say goodnight. Brian Brink, I'll start with you, brother.
I'm sorry, Tom. I can't stop thinking about that movie now. Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie.
It's a great.
Who's your dad and what did he do? You can find me, Brian Brink, in the Facebook groups at Brinklizer on Instagram, and yeah, I don't know, everywhere else and stuff. I'm trying to think if I'm being anywhere this weekend, but no cons that I know of. If you know where Larry Kenny's going to be at the next con, let me know. I need to track that some bitch down, get him to sign something.
All right, Big Dom.
You can find me in the Facebook groups at Dominic Grasso, and here Tuesday nights with you fine gentlemen. And I'll see you next week, I guess, right?
Yes,
That's correct.
Touch you soon, very soon. All right, Energon Addict. Energon Addict.
Yo.
What are you doing? He's drinking Energon.
Energon Addict. I wish.
He's thinking about RC singing some
Me
more.
and Gary already talked about possibly making some in Chicago, but we got to see if it's
Ooh.
see what we can do.
I'll chip
Dave,
in for those
Dave,
ingredients.
That knocked me on my ass that first night. You definitely need to make it.
Some Energon juice. Yep. Don't disappoint.
What was that? You guys are breaking up on me for some reason now.
Yeah, we're breaking up with you.
It's not you, Dave. It's us.
It's us.
I guess it's me.
You sound fine.
You said it, not us.
Yeah, I know, but you guys sound like choppy on me. I didn't even hear what the fuck you said. I know you're making fun of me, but it's all right.
Let him know.
Well,
Let him know where you at.
You know where I'm at, man. If you don't know by now, fuck yourself. Man, I'm these fools that make fun of me when I.
He's robotic.
Some pals.
Oh, there you go.
Make sure you put that on my tombstone. I can't hear shit again.
Feed that
He
fucking
thinks it's us
hamster.
and it's him.
It's him.
Feed that hamster.
Error.
All right. Well, just in case you didn't catch that, Energon Addict on Instagram, Energon_Addict, David Cologne in the Facebook groups. Dave, did I do that okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Fucking outsourcing his outro. What the
I
fuck?
heard that. At least I heard
Exactly.
that.
It's cheaper.
For free.
Fuck you all.
Oh, buddy.
Promise in Chicago.
Yeah.
All right, G Money.
Yeah, Gary Allen in the Facebook groups, and I'll be in Chicago next week. It should be a great time.
Why are you coming?
Maybe in Chicago, shit on everybody.
This guy wants to do fucking breakfast. What the fuck?
Oh my
Dinner.
Hey, we
Yeah,
had
dinner.
we had
Get
a
ourselves
good
some
breakfast
egg
when
whites.
we went to
We did
Virginia.
actually had a good breakfast.
Yeah,
in
just as
Reston.
long
Yeah,
as
we did.
it's not at Bob Evans. All right, guys.
Yeah, no Bob Evans.
Yeah.
Let's avoid Bob Evans. And no
Bob
crack
Evans is
about
not collector friendly.
Just don't bring JD. He's
No, we could go. Just don't bring JD and Brian. We'll be all right.
it. Shifty looking characters. Yeah,
Fucking mischievous motherfuckers.
We treat strangers like friends and friends like family, huh?
That's what it says. It says in there.
Fuck you, Bob Evans. You fucking dick.
Dude, what was that? Cinnamon bun pancakes? Those
cinnamon,
are cinnamon.
cinnamon extreme pancakes.
Yeah, I bet you they had some extra cinnamon in there.
Extreme.
Ah, that's gross.
you. All right, JD, tell them where you at.
You can find me in the parking lot making some shady deals.
Deals. Drop the bag, sir.
Close that trunk. Close that trunk.
Dodging a fucking popo and shit.
That's usually fucking me and Dave's issue, yo. Fucking
Exactly.
Fuck, I'm glad you get to fucking feel what we
You
feel.
guys are
every day.
safe now. I'm taking a fucking heat here. Fuck. Yeah, JD Broches in the Facebook groups and Pigment Surgery on Instagram and Xbox Live. Don't try and get a hold of me because I don't have a fucking phone.
Damn.
Technology can suck a dick.
Yeah, that's fucked up. You better back your shit up to the cloud, bro.
It can't
Back
keep
your
up.
shit up.
It can't keep up. I'm telling you.
All right, and as for myself, all over social media at HarricanBX, please check out Verbally Challenged with HarricanBX on all audio platforms, and here every single Tuesday night with these fine gentlemen. New figure banging tomorrow night, right?
Figure.
Figure banging. So please check that out on this channel, 9:30 p.m.
After Stasis.
Yes, Stasis Lock, 7 p.m. on the Bricks on the
Beasties.
YouTube channel. Check out the Beastie Boys.
Yes.
All right, guys. As I said earlier, you can find this podcast on audio format, iTunes, Google Play. Please subscribe, leave a 5-star review. Check out Crashbox Customs on social media. They're a sponsor of the show. They're the official Mezco supplier of the Realm of Collectors. Visit Crashbox Customs on social media for all your Mezco 112 needs, and be sure to mention the word Realm when placing your order.
Realm.
And you'll probably get a surprise gift with your purchase. Let's just shout out some friends of the show at Figure Photography.
He's back.
Oh shit! I
He's
thought we
back.
lost him.
Not
You
for
guys
long.
talking about me? Because I fucking got dropped out. I can't hear you.
All right, guys. You got to stop
Good to
talking.
go.
shit.
Come back.
Yeah, we're rock rolling. Jose's closing. Oh, he left. What a girl.
Oh,
Bye, Dave.
hope he comes back for the hangout. Hope he comes.
Yes, he does.
All
he
right.
won't.
So, shout out to Tim K. That he's at Figure Photography Crate on Instagram, tfprototype.com, third party TF Crashers on Facebook, kumastyle.com, and check out Kuma Style on Facebook as well. Big friend of the show. Retro Now on YouTube, TKO, the Blackout and Shout crew, and I can't say this for us anymore, but I can say it for them. The newest podcast coming at you on the Realm of Collectors YouTube channel, MPSP Theater, every single Friday night. Check those guys out. Check out the website, Realm of Collectors. We're on Instagram at Realm of Collectors. We're on Facebook as a group, Realm of Collectors. This show, along with many others, is a proud part of the Cool Table, so please pull up a chair. The Cool Table is a network hub for like-minded podcasts, including Enter the Realm, Plastic Fanatics, Shattercast, Uncut, Toy Detox, Nerd Rage Radio, Beer and Bolters 40K, Stasis Lock, 8 weeks, building up to it, and Fresh Communication. You can find the Cool Table page on Facebook, along with links to all those other awesome podcasts. All right, guys, look out for the link to the ROC Hangout in the Realm of Collectors Facebook group. That's it for us this week, and hopefully YouTube fixes their issues. We'll do the question game next week, and yeah, we'll see you guys then. So peace out. Be good.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Dave.
Who's your daddy and what does he do?